In my last video, I explained how we totally messed up the growth on this channel and how we have had to pivot. I want to pick back up where I left off on the previous video, but first I also want to discuss how we felt called by God to start this channel in the first place. I have actually felt called to write a book since about the year 2002 or so, and I never really knew what I was supposed to write about or where to go with that. And anyway, that is completely off topic. We'll cover that another time. But I just want to say that feeling called to start this channel was kind of in that same realm where we didn't really know why we were supposed to start a channel. We just felt like God was telling us to do it, possibly to use as a platform to share our faith in the future. But we're going to unpack some of that today and finish what I was trying to explain to you guys in the previous video. With the way that the world is going today, tell me if any of these things resonate with you. Saving money, growing your own food for health and for financial reasons, food shortages, things like that too. Health in general, mental illness, raising teenagers, parenting adults, enjoying grandparenting, sustainability of all of our resources, our time, our earth, our finances, all of the things, creating a legacy for future generations, teaching our children wisdom that we have learned so that they don't have to make the mistakes that we did, saving them the heartache, and of course, our faith. Those are just some of the things that we felt like at some point we may share on our channel. Also, I did forget to mention in the previous video that when we did our home renovation projects around here, we did those on an extreme budget. And that is why we want to share those projects so that we can show other people how you can do some of those things and save the most amount of money. I know that when I first started renovating this house, even before I met Art, I was always looking for the absolute cheapest way to do certain things. And most of the videos or tutorials that I would find, they didn't really say that this was the cheapest way. They would say it was the easiest way or whatever, but not necessarily the cheapest. And I wanted the cheapest. So part of what we were sharing with our renovation projects was to show how to save the most money. So first, let me say that this channel did not start as a way to make money. We truly just felt called by God to share these things, maybe just to create a platform so that eventually we could share our faith. But things have changed. Once we realized how much time it takes to actually grow a YouTube channel, it made it really difficult to not have an income from this. So today I want to tell you how things have changed, what we're having to do differently, and where we're going moving forward. But I do also still have a lot of things to share if you are thinking that you might want to start a YouTube channel. I've got some tips on how to decide whether or not it's the right thing to do. And I need you to know that this is coming from someone that is going to be completely honest, because that is not what we do here on YouTube. Be careful getting your advice from people whose channel is based on, especially if it's based on selling you a program to grow your YouTube channel. Of course, they're going to tell you that it's easy to do or just follow these steps and you can do that. Our channel is not focused on that, so you can trust me when I'm telling you how hard it truly is. So let me share some things with you today. So first of all, I need you to know that it truly does take a ton of time and energy to grow a channel. It took us a while, but we finally realized that the only way to actually be able to continue growing these channels was if we had some sort of income coming in. And that's because as of November 1st of last year, this became my full-time job. And I don't think I could do it at all if I was still working full-time elsewhere. It truly takes so much time and mental energy to do this thing. And I am investing way more than 40 hours a week working on our channels and our business. And it's been 8 months since I went full time doing this. And so far, we haven't made a dime, not a dime. And I'm going to explain all of that to you a little further. And like I said, this is not about money. We truly feel called by God to share the journey that we're on, but we are also missing an entire income. And so the stress that I feel personally having to fully rely on art, it's a lot. And the stress has weighed on me. It has affected my health. It's really hard to be in that position of having to fully rely on him in that way. So my health has suffered because I felt so much stress to produce a video that will just explode our channel. But I also had to recognize that it could be a while before that happens. And I needed to create an income now or go find another job. I have prayed about it so much. And going to find another job would be the easiest solution. But I also know there's just no way I could work on this channel if I went and got another job. So 3 things have happened recently that I want to tell you about. But first, if you are someone that has been thinking about starting a channel, I really do want to share some things with you before you waste any time. I want to tell you something that no one else on YouTube is going to tell you. It is hard to grow on YouTube. To say that it's hard is actually an understatement. Before you even think about starting a channel, you need to ask yourself 5 questions that I'm going to share right now. So number 1, do you have all of the equipment and skills needed to start a channel? And do you know how to use them? We thought our answer was yes. I am a photographer. I already had studio lights. I had a fancy camera, all of these things. We had microphones already. I had all of the equipment, I thought. We have actually invested a lot of money into the channel, and here we are a year later and we haven't made anything back. We're actually in the negative, really. So make sure before you get started that you really do know how to use your equipment and that you really do have everything that you need. The second thing is, do you have a ton of free time? Because you will need a ton of free time to make this work. I had to have a ton of faith in God and where he was leading us as this became my full-time job. And without it being my full-time job, I don't think we would even be here at all. I don't think we would have any growth whatsoever if it wasn't my full-time job, because it has taken so much of me to devote to this channel. The third thing you want to ask yourself is, are you okay with creating videos that nobody watches? Now keep in mind, every video you create is going to take you hours of work. Most of my 5-minute videos took me at least 10 hours to create. And so it can be kind of devastating when those videos that you've worked so many hours on only get a handful of views. So are you okay with investing so much time into something just to have it flop? For me, myself, I hate feeling like I've wasted my time. The fourth thing to think about is, can you truly be patient waiting for the money to come in? I mean, truly ask yourself that honestly. If you are needing money right away, don't do the YouTube route. It's not going to work. And you're going to wind up having to put money in before you get anything back. And so that is not the way you want to do it. Think about how long you have before you actually need an income from this and decide whether or not that is feasible. We've now been at this for over a year now. We've made more than 200 videos between the 3 channels, and we still haven't made any money yet. So I just want to say that if you don't think you can give it a full year before you see any monetary benefit, then this may not be the right thing for you. And I am saying that as if I'm speaking to myself a year ago, because I really truly wish there had been somebody out there that could have warned me about how long this could possibly take. before I invested all of this time and energy. If we gave up now, I feel like this entire past year would have been wasted. And that is something I'm not willing to let go of. And actually, that is tip number 5, is to ask yourself how you feel about your time being wasted. To me, my time is my most precious commodity. And to have invested all of this time and to see nothing in return, it's very disheartening. Now, even without an income, if I felt like I was making an impact on a community, that would be different because at least it would feel like it was serving a purpose. But so far, that hasn't happened. So, what I want you to know, in case you are sitting where I was a year ago and you are just trying to figure out if you should even start, I want you to have all of the facts so that you can make an educated decision. Because, like I said, the gurus out there, they're going to encourage you to do it because they have a course to sell you. And if they don't encourage you to do it, they have no one to sell their course to, right? If I could go back a year ago knowing what I know now, I don't know that I would have done this. I do know I at least would have done things differently. So this is me going the second mile to save you the time that I wasted, and I'm letting you know in advance what to expect so that you don't waste time if you don't have that time to waste. I truly do hope I can come back to you a year from now and tell you that it was all worth it. In fact, if you would like to see a 1-year update from today, please do hit the subscribe button, and I will make sure to title the video as such so that you can be watching for it. Now, let's get back to those 3 things I told you that have changed since we realized that we needed to find a different way to make an income. First, I want to dive into mine and Art's story a little bit further. We do feel called to share more of our story, maybe in future videos. So if there's anything that resonates with you, please do let us know. I don't plan to share anything that anyone doesn't ask about. So your comments truly will help us know which direction to go. So first, I want you to know that in 2011, I went through a very painful divorce. During that time, I clung to my faith and buried myself in my work and raising my 4 boys. It was really a great time for me to grow deeper in my faith and really learn to rely on Jesus through everything. I learned so much during that time, and I know I need to share that story. I know that it will resonate with others. I know there's got to be other single moms out there that are hurting just like I was, and there's a lot that I can share from that time of my life. So while I was going through all of that, about an hour away from here, there was a man named Art who was happily married. And in 2017, Art had a heart attack and a stroke. And he now has a device in his chest, kind of like a pacemaker. And Art is very private about these things, so I don't want to say much more than that without him here. But I did think that it was important for you to know kind of a little bit of our backstory. I just want you to have a glimpse of why we feel called to speak about health and some of the things that we have both been through. Him with his heart and me with my fibromyalgia. And I have talked about that over on our health channel. Anyway, in 2018, Art lost his wife, Lori, to a debilitating illness. And that part is painful for him to speak about. So we won't talk about that much, but I wanted you guys to understand a bit about his past so that as we are sharing our story, you can kind of see where God was working and what he's been doing in both of our lives. But that is also why we called this our second mile journey, because we both lived a very full life before we ever even met each other. So this truly does feel like the second half of our lives, but we also both believe in sustainability and going further with our resources, including our money, our time, all of the things. And that is why we say we want to encourage you to go the second mile for someone in your life and with your resources. And that's actually a good segue into another thing I've been wanting to tell you about. So I want to show you a clip from our favorite show.
I never could have imagined a moment like this.
We said to submit, so we submit.
The painful irony of some of his teaching.
Mechanis, the sign is the mile marker.
In your entire lives, I bet you've never been so grateful for the enshrined Roman law.
We know this has been an honor for all of you.
Stop here! I said stop!
The destination is that outpost a mile ahead, yes?
It is, but we're only permitted 1 mile.
By coercion. There's no law against citizens assisting you the rest of the way of their own volition. Come, my friends.
But
If anyone says anything, say that we offered.
Rabbi, what are we doing? Why would we just help Romans?
Judas, where did we meet?
At the Sherman on the Chorazin Plain.
Good. Whenever you are troubled, think back on my message.
Maybe, let us take back the helmets. So there's no confusion at the outpost.
If you like.
I've got it.
Hey, if anyone forces you to go 1 mile,
Go with him too.
Hey guys, future Shayla here, and I just want to cut in real quick and say that there is so much that I want to discuss about that clip that I just shared, but we're going to talk about that in the next video, so stay tuned for that. So we had been waiting a long time for season 4 of The Chosen to come out, and it was released recently, and after each episode, we just have the best discussions as we're talking about it, and I'm always thinking, man, we should turn the camera on for these conversations. There's just so much value we unpack together in those conversations, and I feel like we need to be sharing that stuff with people. But the same thing also happens as we leave church each week. We are talking in the car about the sermon, and we just unpack so much value, and there's just so much that I feel like we need to be sharing. So through a series of events that happened last week, we received confirmation that this channel needs to pivot and be totally focused on us sharing our journey. So one of the ways we will do that is by recapping the Chosen episodes each week. And of course, they're in season 4 right now, so we're going to start with season 4. But after this season is over, we're going to go back to season 1 and recap every episode from 1 through 3 just to catch up. And plus, we like going back and rewatching the episodes anyway. If you haven't ever watched the series, you definitely should. And we'll talk more about that later, but you should watch every episode more than once, because I always catch things that I didn't realize the first time around or the second time around. So anyway, there's something new to be seen, kind of like the Bible. It's the living word, and you're constantly learning something new. So anyway, just wanted to throw that in there. Now, I told you that there are 3 changes that I need to tell you about. That first one was about this channel, Second Mile Journey. The other 2 changes are about our other channel, Second Mile DIY, and how we are creating an income not from the channel necessarily, but from our website and some other things. So this video is actually getting a little long, so I think I'm going to cover the other two topics in the next video so that I can hurry up and wrap this one up and get it posted. So as soon as I have the follow-up to this one, I will link it right here. And if you haven't seen episode 1, let's see here. We'll post it up here. Whenever I do the follow-up to this one, we'll post it right up here. And remember to go the second mile today for somebody in your life and with your resources. And please do let me know in the comments which part of this video resonated with you. Thanks for watching.